There were 3 terrific division races that went right down to the final weekend and beyond. But 1980 will be remembered first because it turned us into a country of George Brett watchers. What we were watching for much of the season was the emergence of an outstanding ball player into a national treasure. Of all the people in this country who have at one time held a bat in their hands and tried to hit a ball with it, it was clear that Brett could do it better than anyone. The nation turned its eye to Kansas City for months as he hit in 30 games in a row and challenged 400 for 2 months. He wound up at 390 and averaged a run batted in per game, establishing himself as the best pure hitter for power and average since Ted Williams, Stan Musial, and Hank Aaron.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign. President Brett declares war on the Yankees.
He hit that one well. And that ball is gone. Well, we said he wasn't swinging the bat well, but he got the ball out of the plate and drilled it into the over the wall in deep left center field. And the Royals now lead 5-2.
And now we're just about set for baseball. Bill White is with me here in Kansas City. We'll be joined later by the Scooter Phil Rizzuto, and Bill has the lineups.
All right, Frank Messer. Willie Randolph will lead off and play second base for the Yankees. Bobby Mercer is the DH tonight. He'll bat second. Batting third and playing first base is Bob Watson. In the cleanup spot, playing right field tonight, Reggie Jackson. Oscar Gamble will bat fifth. He's in left field. Rick Cerrone will catch, and he'll bat sixth. He'll be followed by Greg Nettles at third base. Batting eighth and playing shortstop for the Yankees, Bucky Dent. And the center fielder batting ninth is Bobby Brown, and on the mound for the Yankees, left-hander Rudy May. May is 15-5 on the year with a 2.46 earned run average. For the home team, the Kansas City Royals, Willie Wilson will lead off and play left field. Ewell Washington, the shortstop, will hit second. George Brett at third base will hit third. Hal McRae, the DH, will bat fourth. Batting fifth, the center fielder Amos Otis. And the right fielder, John Wathan. The first baseman, Willie Mays Aikens, will hit seventh. He'll be followed by the catcher, Darrell Porter. Frank White will bat ninth and play second base. And on the mound for the Royals, Dennis Leonard with a record of 20-11 and a 3.79 earned run average. We've got 6 umpires again here tonight. Joe Brinkman is behind the plate. Larry McCoy is at first base. Bill Haller is umpiring at second. Ken Kaiser at third base. On the left field foul line is George Maloney. And on the right field foul line, the guy who umpired behind the plate yesterday, Steve Palermo. So those are your 6 umpires as the Kansas City Royals take the field. Of course, the Royals won here yesterday by a score of 7-2. Yankees got 2 early home runs, but that was all as Larry Gura got straightened out and beat the Yankees for the 8th time in his career. He's only lost to them once. But tonight, the Yankees hope it'll be a different story as they go against Denny Leonard, who this year, Frank Messer, has given up 30 home runs.
He really has. Dennis Leonard is the kind of pitcher that has a bad first half, but he comes on strong the second half, and that was the story this year. He had an excellent season after the All-Star break.
Dennis 5-5 lifetime against the Yankees, but with a pretty good 3.63 earned run average. 0-2 against them in 1980. Dennis, though, has been very strong the second half of the season. 13-4 after the All-Star break this year. He won 10 of his last 13 decisions. And we talked with him about it earlier. There's just no secret about it, Steve. The key is keeping the ball in the park.
Denny, for Dennis Leonard, it's extremely important for him to find out very early in the ball game what his best pitch is that night and go with it. Now, Denny has said many times he doesn't know the first part of the year why he has trouble. I think one of the things is that he hasn't discovered yet what is his best pitch. As he goes on through the season, he finds that either his slider or his curveball or his fastball is effective for him. He tends to rule out the other pitches and becomes a 2 or 3 pitch pitcher rather than trying to throw 4 pitches for strikes. If you can make it as simple as possible, you stand a better chance for success, especially with the ability of a Dennis Leonard.
He has long been bothered by the home run ball. He served up 30 round trippers this year. That's 3 fewer than a year ago when only Ferguson Jenkins gave up more in the American League. Some pitchers will tell you, Steve, that Darrell Porter, when he's calling a game, will not use a pitcher's entire repertoire quite as much as, say, a John Wathan, but will find a pitch that's working well and will call for it more often. Have you found that to be true?
Yes, I don't think that's necessarily a bad point
No.
about Darrell. As a matter of fact, it can be a very good point because you eliminate some of the mistakes of complexity. If you try to be as simple as possible with a pitcher, especially with the ability of Dennis Leonard, as I said, you are going to be more successful more often.
All right, here to call the action for you, Al Wiss.
All right, Denny, advantage Royals after one game in the American League playoffs. Now game two getting set to go. First of all, false start. Is Randolph not ready? He steps out momentarily. Time called by Joe Brinkman. Randolph ready, so is Brinkman, and now Dennis Leonard with the first pitch of the game. Swung on and missed. Strike one to Randolph. Willie Randolph, Bobby Mercer, Bob Watson for the Yankees here in inning number one against this man with a red beard, Dennis Leonard. 20-11 this year, 3 times the Royals pitcher of the year. Again, getting time to get settled in. Willie Randolph, he waits on the one-strike pitch. Inside, 1-1 to count to Randolph, who won the season, 294, 7 home runs, 46 RBIs. He leads the American League in walks with 117 in the regular season. 1-1 pitch on the way. 2-1 to count to Willie Randolph. Well, Dennis Leonard, well aware that he has not won since 1977 in the American League playoffs. He'd like to turn that luck around here in game number 2. 2-1 pitch, fly ball, hit well to right field. Wathan has range on it. He's there and makes the catch, 1 away in the first. Oh, Randolph flies out to the right fielder, John Wathan. 1 gone, and here comes Bobby Mercer. Mercer, 269, 13 home runs, 57 RBIs. This is his second tour of duty with the New York Yankees. He was with them several years ago. Long-time player, American and National Leagues, 5-time All-Star. He waits on the first pitch and takes a strike. Delayed call by home plate umpire Joe Brinkman. Mercer, plus 20 home runs, 7 times in his major league career. 1-1 to count to Mercer. How do you pitch him?
Al, Bobby Mercer is a very good fastball hitter. He has been his entire career. Dennis Leonard, you saw, start him off with the fastball, came back with the curve. What you would try to do is get Bobby Mercer to swing at the breaking ball.
The 1-1 pitch on the way. Change speeds, nabbed by Willie Aikens for out number 2. Oh, Mercer lines out to the first baseman, Willie Mays Aikens. 2 gone here in the first, and Bob Watson to the plate. Watson, 307, 13 home runs, 68 RBIs as you watch this one again.
Willie Aikens made 12 errors this year, Steve, but he got much better as the season went along with the glove.
Denny, he did, and I believe part of it is due to the extremely hard work he did with his knee, rehabilitating a knee which was operated on.
Watson takes down low, ball 1. Watson, one of 5 Yankees with a home run off of Dennis Leonard during the regular season this year. That's the thing he's going to have to watch out for in game number 2. 2-0 the count to Bob Watson. Watson, 3-0 pitch on the way. He is taking all the way for a strike. Watson, big game against the Royals earlier this year, July 19th, 4 for 4 against Kansas City in a game in Yankee Stadium. He waits on the 3-1 pitch. Bounding ball, charged by Frank White. He'll go to Willie Aikens in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Yankees in the first. At the end of a half inning, the Yankees no score with the Royals coming to bat.
But we've got Randolph at second base, and at shortstop is Bucky Dent. Over at third base, Greg Nettles talking to Gordon McKenzie, the third base coach for the Royals. The left fielder is Oscar Gamble. Center fielder is Bobby Brown. The right fielder is Reggie Jackson. Rick Cerrone behind the plate. And on the mound tonight is left-hander Rudy May. May's 115, lost 5 this year with a 2.46 earned run average. That, by the way, was the lowest earned run average in the American League. He's making his first league championship appearance tonight. Rudy made 17 starts and 41 appearances this year for the Yankees. Beat the Tigers his last time out.
Rudy May against Dennis Leonard tonight. Leonard retiring the first 3 Yankees in order in the first inning. Willie Wilson twirling a bat, getting set to go here in the Royals half of the first. Will to check that 326 with 3 home runs and 49 RBIs as the crowd builds for him. 705 at bats, a major league record. 230 hits, second highest in the last 43 years in the American League. Also an American League record for a switch hitter, and against the left-hander, he is hitting right-handed. Rudy May on the mound, the sign from Cerrone on the first pitch to Will. Shortens up, and they're not going to call it a strike. They appear with, there they do finally. First base umpire, Larry McCoy, waited until home plate umpire Joe Brinkman asked him for the call, and then finally gave it. Cerrone was the man asking before that.
Pretty tough call from that angle, I think, Al. It's a very fine line anyway, and when you have a bunt situation, it's even more difficult.
So the 1-strike pitch on the way. High and away, 1-1 to count to Willie Wilson. The 1-2 pitch on the way to Wilson. Swing, line drive, hit well to left field, but over there to make the grab going away is Oscar Gamble. Wilson hits the ball hard, but Gamble in the area able to haul it in. 1 gone for the Royals here in the first. Rudy May was out for 10 days in September with a tender elbow, and he was on the disabled list at the beginning of the season. He had lower back problems then. Now faces UL Washington with 1 out here in the first. No score in the game. Just underway. UL Washington 273 with 6 home runs and 53 RBIs. One of those home runs, actually most of those home runs, right-handed for the switch hitter. Takes it up high, ball 1. 1 for 4 in game number 1. UL settling in. Kansas native May on the mound, and the 1-0 delivery. Blew it by him, 1-1.
Normally, you wouldn't look for power from Willie Wilson or UL Washington. However, if there was a difference to be considered, from the right side, both batters feel they have more power. Willie Wilson was the only man ever to hit a ball into the 3rd deck of the New Orleans Superdome as he played for the AAA club in Omaha one year.
1-1 pitch. 2-1 to count to UL Washington. Hitting right-handed, he clubbed one deep into the upper deck in Detroit earlier this year. Jim Fry figures that the more experience he gets in the majors, the more you'll see of that. Hitting with 1 out here in the first. 2-1 pitch. There's a called strike. 2-2 the count. UL not at all happy with that. Joe Brinkman calling the balls and strikes tonight. Larry McCoy at first base. Bill Haller at second base. Ken Kaiser over at third. Steve Palermo down the right field line, and George Maloney down the left field line. There you see the count being flashed out by home plate umpire Brinkman. Make sure everybody is certain what it is. May pumps in the 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. UL Washington strikes out. 2 gone for the Royals here in the first.
Batting third, number 5.
Very good slider that time from Rudy May. Threw it down and into the right-hander. Here we got a look at it. Excellent pitch. Down and in. UL swings right over the top of it. Very difficult pitch for a batter to handle, a breaking ball coming down and in, especially a hard one.
Bob Watson momentarily into the Yankee dugout, so we're going to have a pause in the action here as Watson all of a sudden up and in the dugout. So Watson back at his position over at first base, and George Brett sharing some smiles with home plate umpire Joe Brinkman at the plate. So you look what George has done in postseason play. 5 home runs. That's most in the American League Championship Series in his career. He is tied with Reggie Jackson in that category. George Brett, 390 on the season, 24 home runs. 1 home run in game number 1 yesterday. He waits the plate on Rudy May. Takes ball 1. Brett has to be the leading candidate by far in the American League Most Valuable Player sweepstakes. May works the 1-0 delivery in there for a strike. 1-1 to count to George Brett. Rudy May, he told you he Had the best ERA for a start in the American League. Third best winning percentage, .750. Off the fist, Luke to the shortstop, Bucky Dent. He's right there, puts it away for out number 3, and the Royals emulate the Yankees. 1, 2, 3 in the first, and at the end of 1, no score.
Tomorrow, 2 championship series games. The Phillies and Astros at 2:30 Eastern. The Royals and Yankees at 8 Eastern, live on ABC.
Second inning, no score. Reggie Jackson to lead things off for the Yankees. I spoke with Reggie earlier.
Of course, it wouldn't be a year with the Yankees without some sort of controversy. This year, I guess the biggest occurred when George Steinbrenner leveled his blast at the club in late August as the Orioles started to close in. What effect did that have, if any, on the team?
Well, George got everybody. I was included also. He said Reggie Jackson went into the tank. So-and-so failed. This guy failed. That person didn't do the job. And I've always felt that opinions were like noses. Everybody has one. It's just that when you have one like Jimmy Durante, you can make money off it. George Steinbrenner has a big nose, and he can afford to say the things he says. He owns the ball club. He pays the freight. He pays the salaries. If he has an opinion, then I think we all at least have to hear it. You don't necessarily have to listen to it, but you must hear it.
Reggie Jackson leading off in the second inning. 1-0. Reggie's got a few opinions himself. 2-2 to Jackson. Is it right back through the middle? Washington can't get it. It's a base hit.
Really interesting point. When you play the Yankees, being the manager of Oakland, do you put a shift on Reggie like they did with Ted Williams or other hitters?
No, I can't, because if you pitch Reggie away, he'll take it right over that 4-10 sign. You just can't pitch him one way all the time either.
Oscar Gamble getting the start in left field tonight. Lou Piniella was out there yesterday.
I think, Al, you're going to see one of the most unusual stances right over the plate. The place to pitch Oscar is high and tight. Any ball out over the plate, he hits pretty well.
Tremendous power for a little man. Tremendous power.
Oh, I can testify to that. He got me twice this year, long balls. Once in Baltimore and once in New York.
Gamble with that punched over stance. Feet close together and a close play at first base. Here it is again. Reggie just does get back. Woof.
He was in there. He has great speed, Reggie. And he's a good base runner.
The 2-0 pitch is hit to center field and deep. Otis going back, has room though, and makes the catch on the warning track. And Jackson holds it first. So Jim Palmer just talked about you can throw a lot of long outs in this ballpark, and there's about as long an out as you can throw up there to the plate. As Amos Otis has to go back about 405 feet away to make the catch.
Of course, that ball also is a can of corn in New York.
Right, exactly. Same thing in Yankee Stadium, Death Valley to center.
Well, I think it illustrates the difference between the Yankee outfield and Kansas City's outfield. Amos Otis probably plays the deepest center field in the league. They have much more speed in their outfield, and he caught that ball easily. Yesterday you saw a double by Wilson on a similar fly ball. Amos caught it easy. The ball went over Bobby Brown's head.
2-0 pitch. Ripped into left field for a base hit. Willie Wilson plays it on a hop, and Jackson will stop at second.
That was a fine play by Willie. That ball was tough to handle. He didn't know whether to charge it, lay back, and he just played the ball right in front of him, which is a very smart play for an outfielder to do.
And here you'll see what we're talking about. A fastball up in the strike zone, not quite far enough inside, and he lines it to left field.
And Willie Wilson keeping it from going through. If it goes through, it's a run. Greg Nettles winding up with a .244 average, but of course he has some power, hitting 16 home runs in what amounts to about 60% of a season, missing 2 months. Didn't play from the 23rd of July until October the 4th.
I think, Al, one of the better swings in baseball for a left-handed hitter. He has a real smooth swing. I had him at Denver when he was a young boy.
Back in,
I can testify to that. I think he's hit about 10 home runs. When I did the broadcast in '78, Howard kept reminding me how many home runs he hit off me. Very traumatic time.
Outside, 1-1. What would that be? 68? You were at Denver, weren't you?
That's correct, Al.
Then on to Minnesota.
On to Minnesota. Then Greg came to Minnesota with me, and then I got my walking papers. And then that year they traded Greg to Cleveland, which was one of the biggest mistakes as far as trades I'm concerned.
You mean you didn't get fired at Denver?
No, Jim Burris recommended me for a major league job. He's tremendous.
I think, didn't you take over for Johnny Goro there?
Yes, I did.
Now the manager of the Minnesota Twins, the 1-1 pitch is hit high in the air to left center field. Otis and Wilson converging on it, and it's Amos for the catch. So 2 down in the second inning. The Yankees with runners at first and second, and we'll take a look at Bucky Dent.
Batting 8, number 20, Bucky Dent.
0-1 count.
I think, Al, this is probably the most crucial time for most pitchers. You get 2 outs, you have a man in scoring position. It's kind of what really predicates having a good, well-pitched game. Getting the guy out with a man in scoring position with 2 outs.
Case in point, Gura yesterday.
Well, he made all the big pitches, and Guidry failed in the one time where he could have gotten the left-hander Akins out.
0-2 the count as Leonard serves one up at 90 miles an hour, and there's Jim Fry, longtime coach for the Orioles. Took over here for Whitey Herzog, who had been at the helm when the Royals won in 76, 77, 78. And Fry and Hauser and Dallas Green all in their first full season with the various clubs. 3 of the 4 managers in the 2 leagues championship series. To Dent. They swung on and missed, but Porter has to retrieve, throw to first, and they get the out. Bucky Dent striking out, and then Porter able to make the play at first.
And you'll see the slider, he doesn't use too much, but it definitely fools Dent for strike 3. Nice block by Porter.
So the Yankees squander a threat, get 2 hits and leave 2. We've played an inning and a half. Yankees nothing, Royals nothing.
Leading off for the Royals.
We're in Kansas City. Al Michaels with Oakland A's manager Billy Martin and 3-time Cy Young Award winner Jim Palmer. Coming up Saturday, quite a day on ABC. We start with NCAA football, Oklahoma, Texas at 12:30. Then down to Houston for the 4th game there. That's official. They'll have to go at least 4, and then if necessary, back in New York for game 4 on Saturday night. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0. Cal McRae, the designated hitter, 0 for 3 yesterday. 1-0 the count. McRae, Otis, and Watton, 3 right-handed batters coming up.
3 tough right-handers.
2-0 the count on McRae.
He can pull the ball on occasions, and he's got good power. He goes to all fields. He's a good hit-and-run man. He's a tough hitter up there.
Well, he came up as really being platooned against left-handers.
Precisely. 2-1 the count. Came up with Cincinnati. Two and 2 now on McRae.
If you do pitch him up in, Al, you have to pitch him up real tight, and you got to have good mustard. And you just can't aim the ball to get it up in there. You have to really bring it.
Well, I think that Rudy's throwing pretty well because you can see the 2-0 fastball he threw right by him. That's difficult to do.
Ball 4. So McRae is on it, and the Royals have their first base runner tonight.
Center field.
Amos Otis comes to the plate, hitting .251 for the regular season. 10 homers, 53 RBIs. Otis had better success. There's Berra, Yogi with the walkie-talkie, and the Yankees, as we mentioned yesterday, with 7 coaches in uniform.
Well, he's moving the outfield. He's talking to 2 of the scouts up in the stands up here above the stadium, and he's moving the outfielders. He works mostly with the outfielders.
And they're playing Otis around to right. I think because he missed 40 days because of that tendon injury to his hand, has not hit the ball with power as much as he did last year.
One and 0 the count. Otis pops it foul back to first. Bob Watson coming over, but won't have a play. One and two.
I think that looked like one of those funny pitches you talked about earlier. Ball really went away from Amos.
Did have a little move on it, didn't it?
That's one of the few fastballs he's thrown down. He committed the cardinal sin for a pitcher, which is walking the first batter of an inning. Seems like they invariably score.
1-2 pitch, half swing. Did he come around? Yes, he did. Strike three. Second strikeout for May.
Batting sixth, number 12.
And here you'll see he really helps him out swinging at a fastball out of the strike zone. Not a very good pitch to swing at.
There's a ball, definitely.
Well, he really helped him out. He had walked the first batter. He went 1-0. Throw another ball over his head, foul that back. Kind of got Rudy back into the inning.
Watson had a good year, hitting .305. Breaking pitch in there, 0-1. One and one.
Hal McRae pulled a little cutie over there. He gave a false break over there at first base, trying to distract the pitcher, which is very good base running.
2-1.
I think when you talk about a balk move, the pitchers left-handers particularly, their left foot is on the rubber. When they bring their right leg up, they cannot bring it past the rubber and then go to home. Rudy just kind of brings it even with the rubber, hangs there, deceives the runner, and the runner really doesn't know whether he's going home or he's going to first.
All right, we'll watch it from this angle now. And the count is 3-1. McRae bluffing again, remains at first, and the pitch is popped up in foul ground. Back of first, Watson might have a play, leaning in and makes the catch. So Bob Watson leaning into the temporary booth set up there, back of first base, to get the second out of the inning.
And this is where the home fans can really help. I know you're not supposed to interfere, but if they do interfere with him, they can knock the ball right out of his glove. They can distract him, and it can really, I mean, it can be a pivotal part of a ball game.
A lot of cowards down there tonight, though. Everybody was getting out of the way for him.
Well, they're very friendly here in Kansas City.
1-0. The Yankees, if this series goes 5, they'll use 4 left-handers. Guidry yesterday, May tonight, John tomorrow night. T on scheduled game 4, the right-hander, and then back to Guidry in game 5 on Sunday. Curve in there, 1-1.
I think the use of left-handers is probably not as important here at Royal Stadium as it is in Yankee Stadium. A lot of territory out there in left center in Yankee Stadium. You got a guy here. I mean, it's not the classic lefty versus lefty confrontation. Got the big hit off Ron Guidry yesterday. When Guidry had to get him out, he fought him off, the fastball off, and got a single left field. Really for the winning runs in the ballgame.
McRae goes, good jump. The pitch missing. The throw down to second, nails him. Cerrone to Dent to get Hal McRae, who was off and flying. So KC is gone here in the second. We've played 2. Still Yanks nothing, Royals nothing. At Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Bobby Brown will be leading off with the Yanks in the top of the third. I spoke with Bobby earlier.
What about playing in this ballpark at night? Any problems here with the lights?
No, I think yesterday was probably the biggest problem with all that sunlight glowing at you straight away center field. Left field was having a problem. Right field was having a problem. Tonight, I think it's a different story. You know, we're going to be able to pick the ball up. We're going to see how hard it's hit, how high it's going to go. And I really think that tonight is going to be a different story. We come to play tonight. We was a little down yesterday after we lost. Not really down, but we was hurt because we come here to win. And I think right tonight we're going to go out there and we're going to play. And if they beat us, they beat us. But they're going to have to beat us because we're not going to lay down. We're going to play.
Leading off with the Yankees,
Bobby Brown.
13,
hard to believe he's a rookie.
Brown,
fired up.
Well, he didn't play like a rookie down the stretch.
Bobby, key man taking over for Rupert Jones. Hurt in August and gone for the season. Bobby Brown, 8 seasons in the minors, shuffled around, released, among other things, finally making it. 1-0 the count on Brown.
and he can really hurt you from the left side. Much better hitter. 280 hitter from the left side, 282, and 212 from the right side. 12 home runs versus left-handed, 2 right-handed. He can launch one.
2-0 the count. Brown, one of only 2 Yankees who are a threat to steal. The other would be the man that will follow him in the order in this inning, and is the Yankees' leadoff batter, Willie Randolph. Brown backing out. Bobby, a switch hitter. He's the only switch hitter on the Yankee roster. Hit 282 left-handed this year. 2-2 the count.
Looks a little bewildered. I think Dennis really buzzed that ball by him. And it's great to have switch hitters on your ball club. I know one of the strengths of the Orioles is to have Kenny Singleton batting third, a guy like Eddie Murray, both switch hitters, both excellent hitters in the middle of your lineup.
Makes you think twice.
Popped up. UL Washington will gather it in. 1 away.
Makes you think twice of who you're going to bring in from that bullpen when you see those switch hitters standing up there, I tell you.
Second baseman, Willie Randolph.
Well, with the way those 2 guys hit, sometimes it doesn't matter who you bring in.
Willie Randolph, the batter. Randolph flied to right in the first inning. Oh, and 1. Talking about switch hitters, Billy mentioned him yesterday when we punched up a shot at Whitey Herzog that might be talking to Whitey about a prospective deal. I don't know, just one man's opinion. That's mine. We'll take a look at Ron Guidry in a moment. There he is. Gary Templeton would fit in pretty well on your ball club, wouldn't he?
Better believe it. Better believe it.
The shortstop for the Cardinals, switch hitter. 0-1 pitch. 0-2 the count.
Well, he's thrown 2 sliders. Both of them have been perfect. That was a slider there that fooled Willie.
He's got a good slider tonight. He's going to be tough if that keeps up.
Well, he's throwing a lot of fly balls, which means his fastball's got to be jumping. And he's making good pitches with his breaking ball. That's all you got to do to win. There's another one.
Strikes him out. And Randolph, normally with a very keen eye, chases a bad pitch.
Well, it's an excellent slider, and he thinks it's a fastball, which is what a slider's supposed to do. Comes in there like a fastball. You see it break. Obviously fooled.
2 out in the 3rd inning. Bobby Mercer, the batter. No success against the Royals this season, but Bobby came on after he was wasting away on the bench early in the year. Originally, of course, with the Yankees, and then over to the Giants, and then the Cubs, and Mercer toward the end of his career now, finally getting a chance for postseason play.
Well, he's been around a long time. He broke in the year I broke in 1965. Came up strictly as a fastball hitter and really adjusted. Came
0-1. And the pizza in the hands of the lovely Kay Mercer up from Oklahoma with the kids. 0-2 the count. Leonard's last pitch clocked at 93. Most velocity he's had on any one pitch this evening.
And he's trying to pitch Bobby away with fastballs and maybe a breaking ball in this situation.
Grounded down to first. Akins will do it himself. And it's 3 up and 3 down. The Yankees gone quickly and in order in the 3rd. Royals come up bottom of the 3rd. New York nothing. Kansas City nothing. Looking down from our helicopter on Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. For the 4th time in 5 years, playing host to the championship series. Coming up tomorrow, Game 3. National League from the Dome, 2:30 Eastern. They're even at a game apiece after the Astros won it last night in 10. We'll be in New York. The Royals and the Yankees tomorrow night at 8 Eastern time. What a sight. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 0-0. Willie Akins to lead things off. Grounded down to Watson at first. He'll shovel to May covering. 3-1, 1 gone. Darryl Porter, the Royal catcher, coming up. I spoke with Darryl earlier.
Do you feel that the problems are totally licked, or is it something that you've got to keep working on?
Well, I think that I know for a fact that I'll always be a drug addict and I'll always be an alcoholic. I must always be aware of that. It's just that I'm allergic to those things. I can't do them. I won't be able to do them 10 years from now. Everything will be the same 10 years from now as it is now. I've just got to be aware of those things, and I'm lost.
Darrell Porter, quite open about the problems that he went through this year. Well publicized, of course. Started the season in a rehabilitation center. Came back in May. Wound up on the All-Star team. Played in the game in L.A. in July. 2-0, but really struggled in the second half, especially at the plate.
Well, he didn't have one of his best years, but he can really help you because he constantly is up there in the league leaders with walks. Maybe not this year because he didn't play as much.
3 balls, no strikes to count on Porter.
And he's a fine handler of pitchers, Jim, also. He really knows how to handle those pitchers. He takes control back there. He just doesn't let the pitcher do it all.
3-1.
Why do you think, Billy, that it's so many left-handers have trouble with left-handed pitchers?
I've been trying to figure that out for years.
Line to right field, base hit.
I think really, Jim, it's the left-handers have these unorthodox moves and wind-ups, whatever it may be out there, where the right-handers are more traditional straight overhand.
That's the first hit for Kansas City. Darrell Porter at first base with 1 down, 3rd inning, and Frank White. 3 hits yesterday. There his season figures. Flashy second baseman.
Yes, another guy that doesn't have outstanding stats, but on this type of surface, he's a kind of a spray hitter. Will hit the ball behind the runner. They're not afraid to run with anybody. This guy can handle the bat.
Tries to bunt his way on. A good bunt, and they're going to let it roll foul. 0-1. I think what Nettles is going to argue is that the ball hit him as he left the batter's box. They're going to argue it on both ends at third and with the home plate umpire. Dick Hauser is out there with Nettles and May and Cerrone pleading the case.
Nettles peeled right away to Kaiser down on third base. Right off the bat, he wasn't yelling about whether the ball was fair or foul. He was looking for the ball striking the batter. We'd like to see that, see if he was right or not.
We'll take a look, I'm sure. Dick Hauser going back to the Yankee dugout, and here it is again. Let's see if we can detect it.
It's a tough call for the home plate umpire. He's watching the pitch. Can't really see.
No. Run it back a little bit here and maybe see if we can catch it again. As the white of the ball goes through the white of the uniform, it's difficult to detect.
That's tough to see from here, Al.
It doesn't look like it hits him, but that's why he appealed to the other umpires, because he's got to get help on that play.
Simply a strike, and the count 0-1. Ground into the hole for a base hit. Darrell Porter will stop at second as Reggie gets it back in. So back-to-back singles, and the Royals are in business in the 3rd inning with runners at first and second and 1 out. The top of the order coming up in Willie Wilson.
The left fielder, Willie Wilson.
Not a particularly good 0-2 pitch. I think if you're going to pitch Frank White anywhere, you got to keep the ball down or you got to come way inside. He kind of got it up, out over the plate, and he just punched it to right field.
He's a lot better hitter when he goes the other way. When he tries to overswing, go for the long ball, that's when he strikes out a lot.
So the Royals have their first threat. Willie Wilson fly to left in the 1st inning. Porter at second and White at first with 1 out in the 3rd. The Royals and the Yankees. The Yankees, no stranger to the World Series. The Royals trying to win their first pennant ever. The Yankees trying to win their 33rd. Dick Hauser.
With the lead that Porter has down there, Al, it's going to be tough for him to score on a hard hit ball.
Darrell very conservatively off second, as you can see, still in the dirt. for a quarter. Reggie playing it on the warning track. Rounding third is White. He'll come in to score on a triple by the fleet Wilson.
You're going to see a similar ball Greg Luzinski got last night. Inside, a pretty good pitch, sliced right over the bag. And all the fans are doing is watching Willie Wilson run.
The runners coming in to score is Reggie Jackson. Got it back in and took a dousing as he threw it into the cutoff man. And Big Stan Williams, the pitching coach, going to the mound. So Rudy May had no problems to 2 1/3. Singles by Porter and White. Willie Wilson, who hit 15 triples in 1980 during the regular season, has one here. And the Yankee bullpen getting busy. That's Doug Bird, the former Royal, throwing.
Well, again, Wilson's one of those type of hitters. When he's up left-handed, he'll inside out the ball and go to left field. When he's up right-handed, he'll go the same way the other way.
Wilson at third, one down. UL Washington struck out in the first inning. The Yankee infield has to play in.
I don't think they have to play in, but I think they choose to do it because they don't want to get any farther behind. Dennis Leonard's throwing the ball real well.
Foul back.
Well, with Wilson on third, you know, it's hard to play back because
Reggie Jackson, and right, we mentioned that Reggie took a dousing. You can see it right there. Somebody dumping some beer or water on him out in the corner. There's the Yankee infield.
Not a very good fan of doesn't think like that.
I've got a few of them. Hit to deep left center field and up the alley. That'll make it 3-0. The ball bouncing off the top of the wall, and Washington settles for a double. 3-0 Royals.
The third baseman.
So 4 straight hits now off Rudy May. 2 singles, a triple by Wilson, the double here by Washington.
And the fans are going wild.
They are very hungry. Much like, as I say, Philadelphia. You get into the playoffs, it's nice the first couple of times, but then you want to win, obviously. Brett, yeah, he would win it in this area. There's no question about that.
Not a great situation to be in. He did not make a very good pitch. Threw a hanging curveball to UL. Doubled up the gap. To be 3 runs down, have a man on second, and have George Brett up. Not a very enviable position to be in.
Brett popped out in the first inning. One and oh. Brett, a left-handed batter, of course, and then you've got the right-handers following. If he doesn't get Brett, Billy, will that do it for him, you think?
Well, I believe so. I believe he'll make a move.
I think they ought to make a move right now. I think
Really?
I'd walk Brett. I don't care if who's pitching out there, left-hander versus left-hander, and bring in Bird to try to get the double play. They can't afford to get too many more runs down.
Popped up, shallow center field. Brown coming on. And Bobby has it for the out. And there are 2 down.
That's why I'm a pitcher and you're a manager, Billy.
Well, I was just going to say, Jim, maybe sometimes he'd go out there and tell him to pitch around him, don't give anything to hit, and still be walking him and hope he swings at a bad ball.
The designated hitter.
2 away, Hal McRae, the batter. Rudy May yielding 3 here in the third. Royals winning yesterday 7-2. Trying to go into New York, needing only 1.
Like hanging a curveball, Jim.
Very easy to do.
Yep.
Well, what would you tell him now? You got first base open, pretty good hitter. It was really hot down the stretch.
Well, I'd pitch around this guy. I'll be honest. I wouldn't give him anything to hit.
He begins that way, does May, and the count is 1-0.
Rudy's really struggling. He's a lot like Ron Guidry yesterday. Not very good command of any of his pitches. He's up in the strike zone with his fastball. He's hung a curveball for the double this inning. He's really struggling, not getting the ball down at all.
Off-speed pitch hit to deep center field. Brown still going back and one-hands it. In the inning, however, the Royals come up with 3 on 4 hits, and at the end of 3, Royals 3, Yankees nothing. Coming up in the 4th inning, Bob Watson to lead things off for the New York Yankees. Dennis Leonard to work on him. I talked with Denny.
Dennis, assess your performance against the Yankees in recent years.
It's been up and down, really. This year I didn't have too much success. The first time in New York they hit me pretty good. I gave up, I think, 8 runs in 2 innings. And the only other time I pitched against them this year, Rupert Jones hit a 2-run homer off me, I think, in the 7th or 8th inning. I lost 4-3. But, you know, that's the only 2 times I've had good games and bad games. And hopefully, you know, when I pitch this Thursday, it'll be a good one.
So far, it's been a very good one. Giving up 2 hits, both in the 2nd inning. 3-0. The Royals on top. Tonight, ABC's Nightline, hosted by Ted Koppel, will follow the game after your local news. That's ABC's
The first baseman, Bob Watson.
Watson, Jackson, and Gamble, 3, 4, and 5 hitters, 4th inning.
Well, Bill, they better get something going.
They need it quick.
Watson foul tipping it into Porter's glove. With Mrs. Watson amongst those in the Yankee contingent here in Kansas City. Not much to cheer about for them thus far in the 2 days.
This is that half inning I was telling about, Al, where the pitcher would really like to hold the opposition down.
Key point you made yesterday. Yankees got 2 in the 2nd, and Billy brought that up, but the Royals came back with 2 to get right back in it, and 2 more in the 3rd, and never looked back. Hit in the air to right field. Coming on is Watson in a hurry. Makes the running catch.
Nice running catch. Good jump on the ball.
John Watson, a versatile man. He can play right, first, or catch.
Stole 19 bases for a big guy. Runs very well.
On the move. Got a good break on the ball. And the out. 1 down. Leonard has retired the last 6 in a row, and Reggie Jackson, the batter, grounded a single into center field in the 2nd inning. One and oh. Billy, you been visiting with Reggie at all during the series here?
No, I haven't had time, really.
You haven't made time, huh? You've been hiding.
Not really.
I know that. I'm just kidding.
2-0 the count. Dennis Leonard behind on the count as you look at Denny's wife.
Very happy for obvious reasons. Looked like when you introduced the Kansas City Ball Club today, they were all smiling.
And the Yankees were loose also.
Oh, they're always loose.
2-1 the count.
Again, another illustration that Leonard's still throwing the ball awfully hard. 2-0, not getting ahead of the hitter. 91-mile-per-hour fastball, really kind of by Reggie.
Got the outside corner. Reggie arguing the call. That looked like a great pitch, though. Two to Jackson. Ran it in on him.
Great pitch.
Well, it looks like almost could be a slider. And it's just down and in, a pitcher's pitch. See it break there? Great pitch.
3rd strikeout for the bearded Leonard, and up comes Gamble, who fly to center in the 2nd inning.
Oscar Gamble's really quite a wit on the ball pit. Wonderful young man.
He's been around, shuffling hither and yon through his career. Gamble with the Phillies, Cleveland, Yanks, White Sox, San Diego, the Rangers, back to New York. 0-1. Why has Gamble been traded so much, Billy?
I don't know. I tell you what, when you're a manager, you'd love to have him on your ball club. He can hit that ball and he can hurt you real quick.
Well, he got a big contract to go to San Diego, and I think a lot of times when you change leagues, it takes a while to really familiarize yourself with the pitchers and the ballparks. Mike Hargrove, an outstanding player in the American League, I think he was over in San Diego's after being traded from Texas for 60 days. And yet he hit 300 this year, second, I think, in walks, or third in walks in the American League.
You're right, Jim. It's tough to pick up those pitchers over there. You know, and I don't care what the other players tell you. You have to see them yourself to learn them.
Well, I think Nolan Ryan, you watched the game last night, he said one of the most difficult things for him to really, I guess, acclimate himself in the National League was just learning the hitters, learning the umpires. It's tough.
1-2 pitch is fouled back. 1-2 pitch, ran that one in on Gamble, and down he goes. So Leonard looks razor sharp. He's now set down 8 straight, giving up just 2 hits. 3 up and 3 down for New York in the 4th. We've gone through 3.5 at Royal Stadium. Royals 3, Yankees nothing. All right, coming up tomorrow, Kansas City at New York, if necessary, Saturday and Sunday. The remainder of this series, Yankees and Royals flying to New York tonight for Game 3 of the American League Championship Series, tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium. A syndicated column in yesterday's New York Daily News indicated that ABC Sports was involved in the making up of the American and National League Championship Series schedules in terms of dates on which games would be played and which games were in the afternoon and at night. Contrary to that story, League Championship Series schedules were determined by Major League Baseball. ABC Sports had absolutely nothing to do with establishing playoff dates or whether a particular game would be played in the afternoon or at night.
I think Rudy May is in probably the toughest situation the pitcher can be in. Struggling, 3 runs down, can't afford to really give up another run, or really it kind of puts his team both psychologically and physically out of the game. Really has to bear down on almost any pitch. It's like having a 0-0 ball game. You just can't afford to give up any more runs. What would you do as a manager? I mean, you've got to get the bullpen up quicker. And
well, I'd say, Jim, I'd say just hold them there right now. We can't afford to give up another run. Hold them right there. Keep us close, and we'll score some runs and beat them. That's you always tell your players and your pitchers. Just hold them there.
May ahead, no balls and 2 strikes on Otis. Got him. That's number 3 for May, including Otis twice.
The right fielder, John Wathan.
1 out in the 4th inning. John Wathan fouled out in the 2nd. Ground ball to 3rd. Nettles has his first chance, and flawlessly. So 2 away. Greg Nettles, featured on our pregame show. Interesting story. I mean, Billy, even Greg said a couple of weeks ago he didn't know whether it was possible for him to play, and here he is.
Amazing guy. Just amazing man.
Said he felt good. He said he wished that I was out there, of course, but I think when you play against the Yankees, you get really sick of seeing Greg Nettles catching all the ground balls at third base. It was like Brooks Robinson for us in the years past.
They make so many great plays, you just don't know which one to brag on.
Willie Aikens, 1-0 the count. Willie Aikens, popular man here in Kansas City, came over in the deal to send Al Cowens to California. Cowens subsequently traded, of course, to Detroit for Jason Thompson. Hit to deep right field. If it's fair, there's no question, but it's hooking and going foul.
Here's just an example of Willie Aikens' power.
Yeah, Willie gave it a Reggie look that time. There was no doubt. He just stood in the batter's box.
Well, he ducked up in the concession stand. That ball was crushed. And here's a low curveball. Not a bad pitch, but not a very good location. And we played them in Fort Myers in spring training, and Mike Flanagan, Cy Young Award winner last year, comes up, strikes him out on a curveball the first time. Next time he comes up, throws him another one. Line drive for a double up in right center. The type of hitter, even though he is young, it's only his 2nd full year. You get him out on one pitch, he'll come back and look for it.
He's a free swinger up there, Jim.
said to say hello to everybody down in South Carolina. I told him I would after the hit.
1-2 the count. We look down from the helicopter. Beautiful Royal Stadium. This ballpark opening in 1973 as they moved over here from old Municipal Stadium, part of the Harry S. Truman Sports Complex.
I played there, Al.
That's right. You played with the old Kansas City A's briefly.
And the old Kansas City Blues.
Is that the old Kansas City ballpark? I played there. We played pennant there in '66. Yes. Nice ballpark. George Toma. That was the greatest grass I've ever seen.
Still here is the groundskeeper. 2-2 pitch is grounded to first, and Bob Watson will take care of it. And that's that for the Royals in the 4th inning. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the 5th. Still, Royals 3, Yankees nothing.
Tomorrow, 2 championship series games. The Phillies and Astros at 2:30 Eastern. The Royals and Yankees at 8 Eastern, live on ABC.
Rick Cerrone, the Yankee catcher, leading things off in the 5th inning. I had a visit with Rick earlier.
The fact that, of course, you have to replace Thurman Munson was well documented. I'm wondering about your acceptance, how quickly you were accepted by the Yankees, who've been there a long time. Munson, a great friend of many of the Yankees. What about your acceptance? Did it come quick and easy, or was it a process that took a while?
Well, surprisingly, the Yankees accepted me day 1 of spring training. Not as far as my ability, but they needed me. They needed someone to fill a void. They felt very good about me coming over. Everybody, you know, they tell you stuff like that, but you still have to prove it on the field. But they treated me like one of the guys, and right from the beginning, so it made that a lot easier. All the pressure from the outside people like the media and the radio people and all that stuff was a little added pressure that they put on me, but I think I handled it pretty well, and then doing a job on the field has also helped.
Rick Cerrone begins the 5th inning by flying out to center. Easy play for Amos Otis, and quickly one gone.
The third baseman, Greg Nettles.
Greg Nettles. Well, we'll see a lot of that tomorrow night.
What did we see yesterday? I love New York, but I hate the Yankees.
Be in Yankee Stadium tomorrow night. Tommy John, Paul Splittorff, Game 3. Greg Nettles, flied out 2nd inning. Dennis Leonard rolling now. He's retired 9 straight. Yankees have only 2 hits, both singles, both in the 2nd inning.
The first 2 times I ever pitched in playoffs, 1969, which was against your ball club, Minnesota, in 1970.
Call the stadium operator.
I had the luxury of having a 2-0 lead. It really takes a lot of pressure off you, and I think it puts a lot of added pressure on a team like the Yankees.
2 in that game in 11 innings.
High fly ball to deep right field. Watson going all the way back and trying to gauge it, leaping but can't make the catch. It caroms away and is in play. Rounding second and on his way to third is Nettles, and they're going to wave him in. Greg rounding third. Here comes the relay, not in time as it skids away from the catcher Porter. So Greg Nettles, an inside the park home run, and Mrs. Nettles, she looks on in disbelief, as do many people who didn't think that Greg could play again in 1980, and here he hits a home run.
High fastball. Watson really makes a great effort. I think the only thing here is Amos Otis is kind of playing, waiting to either see the ball go over the fence or play it off the wall, and the ball hits the top of the cushion and just kind of squirts away towards center field.
It hit him his glove.
Exactly. I'm surprised Greg can run that far. It's been out for so long.
And he was hesitating rounding third, though he was being waved in all the way. And the throw up the line, and it's closer than it initially looked. As we take a look again, the sweep tag, and Nettles has to go in with his hand.
I don't believe Nettles can whistle right now. Do you think so, Al?
I think in that situation, Al, you just don't want a guy to get thrown out at home trailing by 3 runs. It's nice to have a guy on third with 1 out.
See how close Watson comes to making the catch, gauging it.
It hit right in his glove and hit at the top of the fence. I think the fence knocked the ball right out of his glove.
Brett throws Dent out. And we have 2 down in the 5th inning. Greg Nettles. Boy, I tell you, one more look now at John Watson in right field.
He caught the ball.
He did, sure. Glove hitting the top of the cushion.
Wonderful try. Really great effort.
Arrow was hit real high, had a great chance to get back on the ball.
3-1, the Royals on top with 2 out, and the base is empty. And Bobby Brown at the plate. 0-1.
Well, that run makes it a little closer now. You know, when you're down 3 runs, you score 1 run, you're right in striking distance.
Well, it sets up a tie ball game anytime you get a runner on base.
1-1. Do you know that man without his credit card?
Oh, Georgie, pal.
Have you talked to George at all this week?
Yes, I did. I talked to him the other day. Wished him luck.
Did he congratulate you on your great year in Oakland?
Yes, he did, Al. He was very nice about it.
Oh, I saw George and Reggie before the game. I think George suggested to Reggie that he get a few hits.
He might be giving a little pep talk.
2-2.
Well, I never played for the Yankees, but they have an unusual way of pepping each other up then, I guess.
They'll certainly get a pep talk if they go home 0-2.
I believe so.
Now it's full, 3-2.
But those are the same 2 pitches that he got out.
Both Gamble and Reggie.
Right, both spots right there, and it doesn't look like a slider to me, Jim. What does it look like to you?
Well, the velocity is a lot harder than his slider. I don't know. Has Art Fowler been working with this guy too? Your pitching coach in Oakland?
I don't know.
Ball seems to be going down, kind of like a spitball would.
You know, you're going to make people think we throw spitballs, Jim. Really, it's a dry spitter. You got a hole on the dry side.
Well, you convinced a lot of our hitters this year.
There's the summary. Kansas City picking up 3 in the 3rd. Triple by Wilson, driving in 2, then a double by Washington, and Nettles hitting the inside to Parker here in the 5th inning to account for the Yankee run. And there's Greg.
Still puffing and huffing.
Debilitating disease, hepatitis. Coming back. Didn't play, remember, until last Saturday. Doubleheader against Detroit, and came back and played again on Sunday. Ball 4. So Brown is on, and Willie Randolph.
The second baseman, Willie Randolph.
Is the batter.
Think they'll run, Billy?
I think so.
2 runs down?
I would. It's a good time. Get a man on second base, single score. Right now, it's 2 base hits will take a score or a home run.
0-1 pitch is wrapped to right center field. Watson coming on, and can't make the catch. Brown heading toward 3rd, waving him in, and Brown will score as Randolph goes to 2nd. So once again, John Watson has an out within his grasp and can't hold on. And the Yankees make it 3-2. John Watson, that's certainly a catchable ball there. An easier play than he had on the home run by Dent.
Well, that ball hit him on the wrist, it looked like, Al. He missed his glove altogether, rolled right up his arm, and I guess he was trying to fall down on it and hide it from the umpire, but it got away on him.
A lot of times on a line drive to the outfield, the ball will knuckle. And it looks like he gets to the ball in plenty of time, but a ball will knuckle. It'll move on you. And he definitely misplayed this ball.
John Watson.
That ball should have been caught, Al.
Yep, absolutely. The inning should be over. They're going to score it a double for Randolph. His 3rd hit in the series. Rennie Martin throwing in the Kansas City bullpen. The left-hander is George's brother, Ken Brett. (3-2). The Royals on top. Yankees have the tying run at 2nd. Willie Randolph is there. 2 down. Bobby Mercer. Randolph in scoring position. Mercer has lined to 1st and grounded to 1st.
Mrs. Brett got to be a proud woman to see 2 of her sons out here in the championship ball game.
Well, we all know about George, and we forget Ken had some pretty good years early in his career. Then he was out of baseball. And
a lot of perseverance. I remember him when he broke in with the Red Sox. Outstanding arm. Not a very good breaking ball, but that's come along as the years gone by. Just kind of threw the ball by the hitter. I think you have a situation here. You got Bobby Mercer up, who is an excellent clutch hitter, as we said before. Much tougher out with runners in scoring position.
1-2 on Mercer.
And here you'll see a high curveball. Dennis is not getting the low pitch. I don't think he wants to throw the high curveball, but he gets on the outside part of the plate.
Struck him out. Number 5 for Leonard. In the inning, the Yankees get a couple of 2 hits, leave 1 through 4 1/2. 3-2 Royals.
And that's deep to right. Let's see Waffen back there. And he does not make the catch. Nettles will go at least for 3. And they might wave him on. They're going to wave Nettles on. A throw. And he is saved.
Holy cow, and inside the park home run.
Well, back in Kansas City, Al Michaels, Billy Martin, and of course the man who's fully clothed. We don't normally see him in that pose of late is Jim Palmer.
I knew you'd get around to that.
Oh, we have to. We have to. Billy, we're going to see you on the field or in the booth for the playoffs next year?
Well, Al, I think you're going to see me out in the field.
If you make the kind of improvement next year that your club made this year, you're right, for sure.
I think you're going to see a great ball club next year.
Oakland A's winding up second to Kansas City in the American League West. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2 Royals. Darrell Porter will lead it off. Frank White, Willie Wilson to follow. Porter singling in the 3rd inning.
Started that big rally.
High in the air to right field and routine for Reggie Jackson. 1 gone. Rudy May has settled down after he gave up those 4 hits that led to the 3 runs in the 3rd. He's retired 6 straight. And he settled down after Jim Palmer was ready to yank him.
I told you that's why I pitch and don't manage.
Well, now it's getting down towards the end. If the Yankees tied up, then we'll see a guy by the name of Gossie's on that mound.
The Goose with 33 saves. Half swing. And a miss. 0-1. There's Gossage. Getting around that time where the Goose can start thinking about coming in. Gaylord, yeah. Gaylord Perry on the right.
You can kid me about getting Rudy out, but he did make a very big pitch. He got George Brett out with a man on 3rd.
Bunted, made backhands, looks to first for the out. 2 down.
The left fielder, Willie Wilson.
2 gone, Willie Wilson the batter. Funny, I saw some kids clustered around before the game. They were seeking autographs from the Yankees. And Gaylord Perry walked by, and one of the kids said, "Oh, we don't want him. He's one of the coaches."
289 wins, and they still think he's coaching.
Right.
Potential Hall of Famer.
That's what they're going to be saying about me about 1985.
1-0 the count on Wilson.
Look, that Gaylord looks like a coach. He has a coach's body. He's all gray.
Thinks like a coach.
Amazing thing. I played for Earl Weaver for 10 years. He blames all his gray hairs on me, and I don't have any yet.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. On the Royals. They love them in Kansas City. Over 2 million people again this year.
That's the 3rd year in a row they've drawn over 2 million.
Yep. 2-1. Well, that is what our director Chet Forty has been reduced to after doing Monday Night Football. Coming in here and back to Denver next Monday. 3-1.
Well, if he gets on, Al, we'll definitely see a stealing situation. We'll see if Rudy can hold him on over there.
Well, Rudy's definitely going to try to throw a strike here. He's not the type of guy you walk.
And Wilson is on.
The shortstop, UL Washington.
May yields his 2nd walk, and up comes UL Washington. Willie Wilson lifetime has a career stealing percentage, successful rate of .850. That's a major league record for players with at least 200 steals. Davey Lopes used to hold that mark
That is great.
Well, he outruns the ball, and here you're going to have a classic confrontation between the pitcher trying to hold him close. If he does go to home plate, trying to release the ball in a hurry and give his catcher a chance to throw him out.
Well, now you have some base runners like that will give a sign to the hitter to let him know to take the pitch when stealing the base.
I think you can see from the lead a slightly bigger lead than Bobby Brown had. He's almost got his right foot out on the AstroTurf.
We've found that he usually never goes on the first pitch. He'll probably go now, but we always found that second and third pitch he goes on.
Have another look now at that move you talked about before, Jim.
Well, you see his foot doesn't quite go behind the pitching rubber, and that's allowed. If he goes a little bit back, he's got to go home plate, or otherwise it's a balk if he comes to first. If the umpire calls it, of course.
There was no pitch out.
No, it's just what a good base runner will do. I know. Classic example in Oakland. You have two of the best, Dwayne Murphy and Ricky Henderson. The biggest thing here is that you've got to get the hitter out. And I've always felt it's better to throw the first ball down the middle, hope that he makes an out. Because if you get behind him, you're going to have to come into him. And if you do that and the guy happens to steal, it's just tougher to get the hitter out.
That's correct, Jim.
1-1. Wilson stole 5 of his 79 bases against the Yankees this season. Doesn't go, and the pitch is looped in the air to right field, and foul, just foul.
Well, there's a good break for the Yankees. You saw in the third inning, Willie Wilson hit a ball right over the bag for a triple, scored 2 runs. Here a ball's just inches foul. I don't really think that Willie has Rudy figured out. He's been going back on some of the pitches.
I think he's going to take a chance right now.
2-2 on Washington. No, doesn't go. Ball 3. Well, now there's no doubt. 3-2 down.
Well, you wouldn't think there would be any doubt.
But it'll be interesting to see if he can get even a decent jump here with May's move.
Doesn't look like he wants to, Al. Looks like he's afraid to, like Jim said, afraid to get off there. Afraid to make the move. So he'll probably wait just a little longer, which happens a lot of times. The pitcher will pitch out over there and pick him off because the runner will leave too soon. Like he's playing off the base right now. They're decoying a little bit.
Well, you got to watch that because he can score from on a long single from first base with the kind of speed he has. Not too many runners can do that.
3-2 pitch is inside, ball 4.
The third baseman, George Brett.
So Rudy May, after getting the first 2 men here in the 5th inning, walks Wilson and Washington. Stan Williams making a local call to the bullpen. And the Yankees will get busy.
Jim Higgin. Great catcher.
Oh, he was. Son Mike played in the bigs. Now is a Brewer broadcaster.
Well, this is just what you want your pitcher to do in Oakland, right? Pitch around Willie Wilson and UL Washington to get the George Brett.
Not hardly, Jim. Although the way our pitchers pitched against him, it wouldn't be a bad idea sometimes.
Brett is 0 for 2 tonight. 2 for 5 in the series. 2 on, 2 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. 3-2 Kansas City. Bouncing ball to Watson. Backhands, shovels. They get him. Brett now 0 for 3. So the Royals leave a couple here in the 5th inning. We played 5 full. It's Kansas City 3 and the Yankees 2. In Kansas City, we're going to the 6th inning. The Bull, Bob Watson, to lead things off with New York. I talked with Bob earlier.
Has it been easy to fit into this ball club?
Sure. It's you have a lot of guys here that are stars. A lot of good ball players. There's some guys here that probably would be playing every day on just about everybody else's ball club. And when you come over and you're right in the midst of a lot of good talent, it makes it easy. It makes your job a whole lot easier. You're not pressed to always get that base hit, that hit the home run, because you know if you don't, the guy hitting behind you will do the job.
Bob Watson leading off here and fouling it away.
You know, Al, Bob's in the Western wear business down in Houston, in the boot business.
Now, obviously, what has to come next is who else do we know that's in the Western wear business?
Well, now that you brought it up.
Who brought it up? Come on, Billy. All right.
Any size 14 boots, Bill?
get the plug out now.
Definitely.
We haven't talked about the book yet. 0-1 pitch is fouled back. Billy's book, #1, right up there on the charts.
Yeah, thank you, Al. It's doing great. I'm really happy about it.
No controversy in that book or anything like that, is there?
A little bit sometimes, Jim.
There's a man who gets a few mentions. Reggie Jackson waiting on deck. The third, Brett backing up. Long throw, gets him. George Brett takes care of Watson. First out, 6th inning. Nobody on. And Reggie Jackson coming up. Mr. October is now 1 for 6 in the championship series. 1 for 2 tonight. 1-1 pitch to Jackson. Hit high in the air, left field toward the line. Willie Wilson ambling over. They take care of Reggie again.
He kind of caught that ball, Al, in the under glove there.
Did. Routine fly ball, and Wilson turning it into a mini adventure. So 2 down now in the 6th inning. And Oscar Gamble, here it is. See the ball almost popping out.
Not really. I think it's
It slid up there.
Yeah.
It slid up there.
I think the big thing, I talked to Joe Cronin many years ago in Japan, and he was talking about legislating against the pitchers. It lowered the mound, bring the fences in, more AstroTurf. Really what makes it tough on the hitters is the fact that they have such big gloves.
To deep right field, Wathan going back. He has room, and the Yankees come that close to tying it here in the 6th inning. Instead of 1, 2, 3 innings for Dennis Leonard. And at the end of 5.5 in KC, Royals 3, Yankees 2. Coming up tomorrow, ABC Sports presenting the National League Championship Series. Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell, and the Big D, Don Drysdale, will be in the Dome. Phillies in Houston tomorrow night will be in New York. For the Yankees and the Royals, we're wrapping up the Kansas City portion of this series as you look at the fountain display, one of the many features at Royal Stadium. Packed again tonight, 42,633, and that's a new record. Yesterday we had 42,598. So they squeeze in a few more this evening as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Al McRae to lead off. Walk, flied out, 0 for 1. 0-1 the count. 1-1. I'll tell you one thing, Billy. You ever get the chance, I'd love to see you manage in the National League without that DH.
I tell you, I used to like it without the DH. But then after we got the DH, I enjoy it a lot better than Ray. And you still have to manage it. It doesn't take anything away from it.
Fouled away, and the count 1-2.
Well, I think the one thing, the luxury that you no longer have as a pitcher, of course, is to have that opposing pitcher coming up a couple times a game.
Down he goes. Al McRae striking out.
You don't see that too often.
The center fielder, Amos.
Excellent curveball. You'll see again, here's that big breaking curveball. And he's really settled down. You were right, Bill. I should have left him in. And really, his job right now is to pitch as well as he can, as long as he can, and try to get in a situation, give them a chance to get back in the game and bring in the goose.
And he's done his job. He's doing it right now.
Amos Otis at the plate. Misses Otis. Her man trying to get untracked and bounces one through the hole into left field for a base hit. Well, that brings a smile to Mrs. A.O. Hit number 5. We'll look at it from left field, just by Nettles.
And here's a classic Greg Nettles dive. Our guys always yell, stay on your feet. But when you dive like that, even though you're extended, at third base you can come up and still throw the runner out.
John Wathan is 0 for 2. John looking for his first hit in the playoffs. Otis at first base. Amos has stolen 7 bases career-wise in the playoffs. That's an American League record.
Well, what do you do here, Bill? Got to get something going. Good hit and run man.
Well,
not the best guy to steal off of. As we said before, great move to first.
some managers like to hit with 1 out, Jim. I don't like to do it, but maybe they'll try it.
Watson holding Otis aboard. 1 out, 6th inning. 1-0.
Well, Amos gave that false start over there also, Al.
Little shoulder move.
Sure did.
Rudy May, haven't seen any good jumps off May tonight except for McRae in the 2nd inning, and then Howe was thrown out by Cerrone. Line to right at Jackson.
One of the greatest moves, Al, I've ever seen in baseball was a pitcher by the name of Bill White. He used to pitch in the American League at one time.
W-I-G-H-C is the way he spelled it, right?
Tremendous move. And guess who learned how to break it and steal on him? Phil Rizzuto.
Really?
It was just the way he planted his foot, whether he's going to go to first or go to home.
Scooter figured out the code, huh?
He sure did.
Jim Fry, his club out in front 3-2. And Jim's wife,
Joan.
Great
Fry. Gal. Good sense of humor. Of course, she has to have one to hang around with Jim for so long. No, really a nice couple. Of course, I go back with Jimmy to 1964. Wanted me to play on his first ball club. I wanted to go to Stockton. He wanted me to go to the rookie league. I couldn't understand that.
Well, he's certainly done a wonderful job.
Came in with some pressure on him. Whitey Herzog had been quite popular here. Runner goes, good jump. Pitches low, throw to second, no chance. Amos Otis able to decode May's move that time. And that's his 8th career playoff steal. And the ties Joe Morgan, who has 8 career-wise in the National League. 2 out, man at second. Tomorrow, Philadelphia-Houston. Morgan and his gang against Schmidt and company, 2:30 Eastern time. That series locked up, game apiece. Yankee Stadium tomorrow night for the resumption of this series, game 3, 8 o'clock. 2-0 the count.
Al, Amos likes to steal third sometimes with 2 outs, which I don't think is a good idea, but he'll try it.
Not in this situation. I mean, he's going to score on almost any ball hit to the outfield for a base hit. I think if you got a slow guy, he's obviously not going to steal third, but I think we have the same situation as yesterday. Rudy May's got to get this guy out. He's got a lefty versus lefty. Yesterday, Aikens got the big hit. Had a lot of opportunities to do it again.
To center field, deep but playable. Brown back, has it for the out, and Kansas City is done in the 6th inning as they strand Otis at second. We'll go to the 7th inning. Cerrone will lead off for New York. Still 3-2 Royals. Where the Royals won yesterday 7-2, lead tonight 3-2. There's your new right fielder. John Wathan coming out, having some trouble out there tonight, and Clint Hurdle takes over with a 1-run lead as we go to the 7th. Rick Cerrone will lead things off for New York, then Nettles and Dent. One and 2 the count.
There was that pitch, Jim, but it was up a little high.
Oh, it looked like a high slider or whatever, but really that 2-run rally in the 5th for the Yankees, what it did is put a lot of pressure on Dennis Leonard. I mean, a home run can tie it. Base hit and a home run can put him behind.
Line to left field. Wilson with great speed right there.
There's that great speed for you, Al. Just can't beat it.
It pays off. Here's Nettles. Contracted hepatitis in July. Made his way back. Long recovery period for Greg. And I talked with him earlier.
Greg, the obvious, how are you right now physically?
I feel fine. My liver tests have come out pretty good the last 3 weeks, and I feel healthy. I was a little stiff after playing a game the other day, but other than that, I feel fine. My arm feels fine, which I thought I would have a lot of trouble with my shoulder. It takes me a long time to get that in shape usually, and my timing at the plate has been good, and I feel better in the field each day.
Greg Nettles flying out, and then the inside the park home run in the 5th inning. Been flawless defensively. Strike here, the count 0-2. Jim Palmer mentioning home run will tie it, and apropos to point out here, Leonard led the American League in giving up home runs this season. 30.
I tried to catch him, but couldn't make it.
Breaking pitch inside. Of course, we've been talking about Gossage for the Yanks. We're getting to that point, and in the bullpen, as you look at Nettles against Leonard in the playoffs, we'll be seeing Dan Quisenberry in the Kansas City bullpen. That right-hander getting up. Nettles fouls it away. There he is, Dan Quisenberry. Didn't need him yesterday. Larry Gurr went all the way. Dan was up and throwing late. A lot of people thought one of the keys to this series would be Gossage and Quisenberry, and that situation may be developing tonight.
I mean, there are a lot of good pitchers that have thrown a lot of home runs. You go back to Robin Roberts, you go back to Fergie Jenkins. If you don't do it with anybody on base, it's not too bad. Not in a 3-2 game, obviously.
Struck him out. 6 strikeouts. Another man who would fit into that mold as we see this pitch again is Catfish Hunter.
Well, here you'll see a low curveball hit the high fastball for the inside park home run, and he makes a good pitch with his breaking ball.
So 2 down. That chart in the hands of the pitcher tomorrow night, Paul Splittorff, charting the pitches.
And that chart will show where the pitches were hit, what kind they were.
UL Washington catches the looping line drive off the bat of Bucky Dent. And Dennis Leonard has retired 7 in a row. So through 6.5 in Kansas City, the Royals 3 and the Yankees 2. Gorgeous sight. The Jewel sitting right out here off Interstate 70, about 10 miles east of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Royal Stadium. They've been rocking here tonight. Kansas City on top 3-2. Big day Saturday. Be with us beginning 12:30 Eastern time. Oklahoma 12th ranked, scoring 82 points last week against unbeaten and 3rd ranked Texas. Then the Phillies in Houston, and if necessary at 8 o'clock Saturday night, the Yankees in Kansas City from New York, game 4. Al Michaels, Billy Martin, Jim Palmer with you as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Kansas City leading 3-2, and Darrell Porter the batter. Rudy May has gone all the way from New York. Randolph gathers it in. Over to Watson. 1 out.
That same ground ball, Al, be trouble in New York because of the infield slants both at shortstop and second
baseman, Frank White.
By design?
No, not by design. Just the way when they built the new field, that's the way they fixed it up. And players have been complaining about the last couple of years.
Well, it's always been known for a bad outfield, isn't that? Where Mickey Mantle hurt his knee stepping in a drainage thing in one of the World Series.
Oh, that was the old ballpark, Jim.
You mean the old field?
The old field, yeah. The old field.
Same ballpark, new look.
Different look.
Be there tomorrow. It'll be Tommy John and Paul Splittorff. Game 3. Frank White at the plate. Let's strike. 0-1.
First changeup Rudy May's thrown in 7 innings.
Here's Eric Soderholm. Interestingly enough, Eric, there are his career figures against Leonard, yet he's on the bench tonight as Dick Hauser has opted for the left-handed batting DH, Bobby Mercer.
I think he's 0 for 11 this season against the Royals here, 0 for 12, maybe 0 for 13 now here at Royal Stadium.
What about that, Billy?
Well, I think that Hauser went the right way. Really, I would have gone with Gamble out there, or because of the factor of Mercer really as a DH, because I think Mercer is a tough out. Really, I think he's a real tough competitor at the plate. Tougher than Soderholm, I believe, in certain situations.
Hit to left for a base hit. Frank White having quite a series now. That's 5 hits in 2 games for Frank.
Left fielder Willie Wilson.
half a dozen hits off Rudy May. And up comes Willie Wilson. Willie with a triple in the third inning. Down the line and right. Yankee bullpen stirring around. The Goose. Who else in the seventh inning?
Doesn't take him very long to get ready, does it, Bill?
No, it doesn't.
Comebacker. May to Dent. Nice play by Bucky. Off balance, not in time. Watson doesn't like the call. What a play by Dent, though. To make the catch, find the bag, and avoid White.
You know, Al, I didn't know if the ball was being thrown to Willie or Bucky.
Well, I think, you know, when you go through this drill in spring training, you always know who you're throwing to. But when the ball is hit up the middle, both the shortstop and the second baseman converge on second, you really just want to throw it to anybody. You throw it really over the bag. It's like leading a guy in football.
Yeah, but you're supposed to tell him before the play the ball is going to be coming to me, like the shortstop. I'm covering now. On that case right there, it looked like both of them are going to go to the base. But the second baseman, if he wasn't covering, he should be going behind the base in case of a high throw.
So Wilson is on with his great speed, legging it out and avoiding the double play. And Washington is the batter. UL is 1 for 2. Chopper, Dent field, shovels to Randolph just in time at second for the Forest, and that's that for KC in the seventh. One hit, one man left through 7, still 3-2 Royals, and we'll be back in Kansas City after this word from our local stations. So we go to the 8th inning in game 2. The Royals winning yesterday, leading tonight. 3-2 Kansas City. Bobby Brown popped out and walked. 0 for 1. 0-1 the count.
Bill, anything you look for late in the game with your pitcher? You ever ask him how he feels, or you just kind of tendencies?
I have the pitching coach ask him every inning when he comes in, Jim. Also, we're counting his pitches, and we're kind of staying on top of him. And you know each pitcher, when he starts to get a little bit up, then you know he's losing it when he's reaching back for a little extra. But Art Fowler stays right on top of him, talking to him all the time when they come in. And we want the pitcher to be honest with us, to let us know that they're out of gas.
Ooh, good pitch.
That's the same pitch, Al. He's getting those left-handers out on.
Second baseman, Willie Randolph.
We've seen a few of these tonight.
Actually, that pitch is a ball.
Well, that's the luxury of being ahead in the count, or at least having 2 strikes on the batter. They tend to expand the strike zone, swing at balls that maybe aren't strikes. That's what we managers try to preach, Jim.
Willie Randolph at the plate. Leonard has now struck out 7. 1-0. Line to right field. Hurdle backs up, plays it on a hop. Randolph is aboard. Tying run is on. Willie with 4 hits in the 2 games now.
The designated hitter, Bobby Mercer.
And Bobby Mercer. He's been handcuffed tonight. Soft liner for an out. Grounder. And a strikeout. 0 for 3. Bobby Mercer at the plate. 1 out. Randolph at first.
And we have one of the few Yankees that can steal a base. I don't know about you, Billy, but with the guy holding Mercer on at first, you want to kind of give Mercer that hole, or excuse me, holding Randolph at first. You want to give him that hole, maybe get that first and third situation.
Well, Jim, I'll tell you, I think with Willie's speed down there and with a left-handed hitter up, which will make it difficult for Porter to throw him out, I would take the chance to try to steal the base.
Well, he's got a big enough lead to steal the base. He's another guy that only steals, and it seems, in important situations. He's not going to just be stealing bases to kind of run up his stats, so to speak.
Very good base runner. Exceptionally good.
To the count.
When you get hit on the fist a lot, they tell you to put it in a whirlpool.
Now the Mercer's right at home. There always brings his rocking chair to the clubhouse. But Bobby tough in the clutch.
Leonard's just staying away from him. He's just trying to throw him fastballs away. George is Rudy.
Yeah, George looking on anxiously.
Maybe not verbally, but somewhere you know he's
very tense look.
Yes.
Well, this is what the playoffs are all about. And you'd see they won 103 games. All they got to do is get beat 3 times and they go home.
So Dennis Leonard has his 8th strikeout. Here's Steinbrenner's reaction as Mercer strikes out. I think that man won't be happy until he has a ball club that goes 162-0 someday.
He does love to win.
Don't we all?
That's for sure.
Well, what about now, Billy? Is he going to steal?
Yeah, it's going to go sometime.
You can see his right foot is on the AstroTurf. Sizable lead.
Of course, I like to see the runner stealing against a left-handed hitter up there, but Willie's got the speed to steal no matter who's up.
One pitch. Half swing foul. 1-2. Vic Hauser.
And of course, this is a good time for a pitch out.
Count 1-2. Okay. See if Randolph goes here.
Not a very big lead.
Listen to that crowd now. Leonard has struck out 8. Far above his average for the year. Willie Bluff's going, drilled into the left field corner. Willie Wilson will have to play this one perfectly. He does. They're waving the runner around third. Here comes a relay from Gregg. Perfect throw, and they nail him. George Steinbrenner infuriated as we see it again to play at home. Perfect relay. Porter right there. Barrel roll in, and down he goes. They throw out Randolph. KC still has the lead. We played 7.5. 3-2 Royals.
There you have another look at it. You can see Willie Randolph is coming in. It's going to be a close play anyway. Darrell receives a perfect throw, goes down and makes the tag on a hard sliding Willie Randolph.
Well, you couldn't ask for any more than we've seen in the first 2 games, and as it happens so often, a fine defensive play, and the man comes up in the next half inning. It's George Brett. He'll be followed by McRae, and the name is Otis against Rudy May. The pitch swung on, fly ball, hit well, but playable. Straight away center field is Bobby Brown. Under it, looking up and making the grab. 1 gone for the Royals here in the 8th as Brett 0 for 4 tonight, but what a relay throw he made, firing a perfect strike to home plate to Darrell Porter.
Al, I think we're getting very close to goose hunting season for the Royals. Of Rudy May's last 10 victories, 3 of them were complete games. The other 7 all finished by Goose Gossage, and he's getting ready.
Gossage has been throwing the 2 previous innings. Swing and a fly ball hit to center field. Again, playable. Almost the identical spot. There's Brown, puts it away. 2 gone for the Royals here in the 8th. Looking ahead to the Yankees half of the 9th. And you couldn't ask for any more than this in terms of drama. Reggie Jackson leading off against Dennis Leonard. Jackson, Gamble, and Cerrone. Royals clinging to a 1-run lead, 3-2. It's the last of the 8th in Royal Stadium. Bear in mind, no team has ever come back after being down 0-2 in games in the American League playoff. And the Royals are 3 outs away from putting the Yankees in exactly that position. Pitch from May to Otis. Hard hit ground ball. There's Dent. He vacuums over to first base in time. And we go to the 9th inning with the Royals leading 3-2. Royals 3 outs away from their second victory in the first 2 games. Quisenberry is throwing. Patton is also throwing in the bullpen in right field. Now here we go. Leonard, the first pitch to Jackson. Away, ball 1. Royals have consistently worked Jackson away in the first 2 games of the series. The outfield deep and swung around toward right. Dennis Leonard 3 outs away from a complete game and a victory over the Yankees, but he has to motor through the power portion of their lineup. The 1-0 delivery. Jackson, line drive, base hit opposite field. Yankees have the tying run aboard over at first base. The leadoff man on for New York in the person of Reggie Jackson.
Now Reggie Jackson taking that pitch, a fastball that was up and away. You see him on first base, taking a high fastball up and out over the plate and just ripping it into left field, not trying to overswing, hitting the ball solidly the other way, and he represents the tying run at first base now.
Jim Fry out to the mound. Fry will go to the bullpen as the gates swing open, and Dennis Leonard coming out after pitching a superb game. A marvelous outing for Leonard and a standing ovation from the fans here at Royal Stadium as he comes off the field. 9th inning, Royal Stadium. Royals leading 3-2 against the New York Yankees. Gamble stepping out. You'll see the Yankees step out a lot trying to disconcert pitchers. Gamble back there. He has to crowd the plate more than anybody else in Major League Baseball, and he waits. The pitch from Quisenberry. Ball 1.
Interesting matchup here, Al. Oscar Gamble is a noted low ball hitter. Dan Quisenberry, obviously a low ball pitcher. What happens in a situation like this is the pitcher has to go with his strength, that being the sinker ball, and hope that he can execute well enough to get by a hitter's strength.
Interesting atmosphere in Royal Stadium now. The crowd remarkably subdued. The pitch. He gets the low call. 1-1 the count. He must get that low strike. He must get it to be effective. Has to get the call from the umpire.
Here's another look at it. That is perfect execution for Dan Quisenberry, and you can see by Oscar Gamble's reaction, it upset him a little bit.
Nobody out for the Yankees. Royals leading by a run here in the 9th inning, game 2 of the playoffs. 1-1 pitch off the fist. Pop behind second base. There's Frank White. 1 away. Gamble pops out. The Royals now 2 outs away. A man on with a man out, and Rick Cerrone to the plate. Reggie Jackson over at first base.
One of the few times you'll see Dan Quisenberry do it, but he came inside to a left-handed hitter, got it up around his belt, induced Oscar Gamble to hit one off the fist for a little pop-up to Frank White.
Here's Cerrone, who homered yesterday, 1 for 4, a single tonight. Since that time, he has flied out to center and lined out, and the ball hit sharply to Willie Wilson, who made a nice grab in left field. There's George Steinbrenner, the owner of the Yankees, watching on. The Royals now 2 outs away from going 2 games up in the American League playoffs. The pitch to Cerrone. Ball 1.
Tough pitch right there. Again, a borderline pitch. Sinker, a good sinker down, and Dan didn't get that call. This is the situation that Dan Quisenberry really thrives on. He's in a situation now where there's 1 out, a slow man at the plate. Good man for double play.
Cerrone at the plate. He waits. 1-0 pitch. 2-0 the count to Cerrone, so he has the edge in the count. Quisenberry on the mound, turning his back to home plate, rubbing up the baseball. Reggie Jackson over at first base. Outfield swung around toward left against Cerrone. 3-2 Royals, 9th inning against the Yankees. 2-0 delivery. Low, 3-0 the count to Cerrone. Jackson potentially over at first base, the tying run for the Yankees. Nettles kneeling in the on-deck circle. Quisenberry getting set to go. Jackson away at first base. 3-0 pitch. A strike.
Steve made the point that Cerrone might be a good man to double up because he doesn't have speed, but he also doesn't hit a lot of ground balls, and last year he was the 4th hardest man in the American League to double up behind the speed burners like Wilson, Rivers, and Bumbrick.
3-1 the count to Cerrone. Jackson over at first base. 1 out. Quisenberry, the 3-1 pitch. Line drive over the glove of Washington. Wilson up with it in left. 2 men on now for the Yankees with 1 out here in the ninth. And Greg Nettles coming to the plate as Jackson clapping his hands at second base. Jackson at second. Cerrone on the single over at first base with Jeff Toborg as you watch it again.
Here's another look at it, and this time 3-1. Dan Quisenberry gets the ball up in the strike zone. You can see Rick Cerrone get the good part of the bat on the ball and hit a sharp line drive into left field.
Well, the pivotal game of the American League playoffs. The Royals would be in tremendous shape if they can win tonight. The Yankees have to win tonight to keep their hopes alive in the playoffs. Royals clinging to a 1-run lead. Quisenberry on the mound. 2 men on, 1 out. Pitch to. Here it is. Nettles goes down the white for 1. Back to first. Double play. The Royals win. The Kansas City Royals on the double play. White to Washington. Over to Willie Aikens. End it. Quisenberry with a save. Leonard with a win. 3-2 the final score.